To me, critical thinking is everything that enhances accuracy in sending and receiving information. The sending and receiving information and the accuracy that is involved uh, takes two levels, both regarding to the outside world and with regard to our inner world, to our experiences. But what I've noticed is that quite a few youngsters have withdrawn to little islands in which they feel safe. And those are islands, emotional islands, with their family and with their friends. And also, quite a significant amount of European youth have become very loud, very expressive. I think the key challenge for all teachers is that the moment you start talking about a potentially divisive topic, it might become ugly in the classroom. There might be very vehement, very moralistic emotions popping up. And I think that's very hard to deal with. And I think the reason for these emotions are multiple. I mean, it's also the state we're all in, like Zygmunt Bauman calls it liquid life. So we're in a state of anxiety because we don't really understand what's happening around us and we don't have frames for it. There is, of course, the affective polarization, which makes a lot of topics moralistic rather than easy to discuss or easy to access. Then there is what I'd call the implosion explosion of youngsters, which turns everything into either too private or too identity driven or identity related. So it's very personal and it makes it very hard to keep a distance. And then, of course, there are the normal adolescence emotions that are hard to control in any situation. And of course, they shouldn't be controlled, but it would be nice to have them in a constructive way rather than in a destructive way. I think it all comes down to a lack of agency that has been experienced by a lot of youngsters. I think a lot of youngsters feel that they don't have any influence on what's happening around them. And those are probably it's one of the causes that people withdraw or are become very loud because it doesn't matter anyway. And I think what we should do is, on the one hand, institutionally, we could help them by opening up roads for participation, but like real participation. And there are initiatives now by the Polish presidency to enlarge participation by civil society in the field of disinformation. It's called resilience councils. And I think youth resilience councils would be a very good idea. But also in the classroom, you can do a lot. And what we try to do is we started very basic sort of skill sets. And the basic skill sets is how can you listen without judging immediately, and how can you formulate your own expressions, your own opinions without fearing judgment. And that's what Bauman calls citizen skills. So it's negotiation, dialogue, resolving conflicts. I think the most important strategies for any school is to start listening and not just sending information. So not being top down in any kind of skill sets requirement, but just trying to be peer to peer, or at least being a facilitator to whatever is going on in the classroom. And that's not just limited to disinformation, it's limited or critical thinking. It's about everything. So I think that youngsters with their experiences on social media, on being interactive and being always in dialogue, I think that should translate to the classroom. And I think strategies to do that make youngsters feel heard and they don't feel that they have to provoke or they have to withdraw. With my wife, we do something in our classroom that we call interdemocracy. And it's creating a space for kids to feel seen, heard, and safe. And basically what we do is we try to get them to formulate their own opinions, but nobody's allowed to react. If you do it consistently and you do it structurally, kids do open up and do feel that their voice makes a difference. And then they start voicing what they have inside. And that's a very big step. But I think the base of participation is not getting just kids feeling heard, seen, and safe. I think there should also something that I would call constructive confrontation. And it's basically that our tasks as teachers, but also I think as institutions, is to instill doubt. So people have from that moment on a space to fill it with reflections or with self-reflections. So doubt is a very good thing, and not aiming for definitive answers, but aiming for searching for answers.